So you want to become a lawyer in Canada? Don't. Just kidding. Hi guys, welcome to Ask Thaguy, and I'm here to help you become a foreign trained lawyer in Canada. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to break down the whole process into 3 easy steps. The first is going to be your degree assessment, the second is going to be your articling, and the third is going to be your bar exam. Depending on where you are at and how your situation is, the visa requirement will be differing, and I will be talking about the visa requirements towards the end of the video. To get started with the step number 1, which is your NCA assessment, you will have to create an account in the NCA website listed in the description down below. Once you've done that, the NCA will then require you to have your academic transcripts assessed, which will be given to you by your university, and that has to be directly mailed from your university to the NCA office in Canada. In case your university uses a domain name email ID, then they can also email it to them at transcripts@flsc.ca. This is the email ID. And in case they do not have an email address, you will have to have your university directly mail these documents to them. By directly, I mean you cannot yourself mail these documents to the NCA office. In case your university is reluctant to do so on your behalf, then you will have to take an envelope to your university, put your academic transcripts in the envelope, seal that envelope, and have your office clerk, the university office clerk, stamp and sign behind the envelope before you send it by mail to Canada. The second document that you will require is a certificate of good standing that is to be provided to you by your local bar association. This is the important document because this is going to let NCA know, assess how much experience do you have on you, so that your articling obligation will be adjusted according to that. The third document that you will require is your CV that you can create yourself. I recommend using the website called canva.com, and because it has got a lot of templates and you can figure out how to create a good CV for yourself. The fourth thing that you will require is, again, of course, you're going to be the money. In case the NCA assesses that you only have to give 5 exams, you're looking at somewhere around $24.50. Each exam costs $400, and the assessment process costs around $450. In case NCA assesses that you may require more exams, that will be depending on the university that you completed your law from, and also your score. Once this assessment is done, you will be moving on to the step number 2. The step number 2 of the process is articling. Articling is the tricky part because it's a very coveted position. It's a position where you have an agreement with a lawyer who has already got 4 years of experience, or a law firm who is willing to give you this position and is willing to train you how to practice law in the courts of Canada. This is a 1-year training that you are required to take, and since this is supposed to be a paid position, it's a very coveted thing to get, especially if you're a foreign trained lawyer, because there are lawyers who are coming out of the Canadian law schools and also from the US who are wanting to practice in Canada, and generally these students get preference over you guys. So in case you are unable to find a position of articling, I have also seen a couple of foreign trained lawyers paying the lawyers for doing this job, which is why it's a very difficult thing to do, and I did not do it. And that is why I chose the Ontario as my province of choice for the law, for getting my licenses, because in Canada the law is like the law societies are each separate entities in every province. There are 10 provinces in Canada, and depending on the province that you would want to practice in, they may have a different requirement. For example, I think, don't quote me on that, but Alberta has a course and they don't require you to take a bar exam. BC has a requirement that you will mandatorily have to have an articling before you can sit for the bar exam. And Ontario, because Ontario has a very strict bar exam, it is considered to be one of the more difficult exams in Canada, also allows you to skip the articling if you have had at least 5 years of experience on your record from the country of your original studies. In case you need a reference letter or sample letter of how to get an exemption, you can just leave down your comments, leave your email ID in the comments, and I will try to send you a sample of the exemption letter that will help you. In case you don't have any experience on you and you would want to skip this articling because it's again, as I told you, it's a difficult position to get, you can actually apply for a LLP program. LLP program is basically a lawyer learning program which is offered by the Toronto Metropolitan University, which was earlier called Ryerson University. This university, this course basically is going to help you skip articling altogether. It's going to cost you around $2,800. It's going to be an 8-month course, 4 months of theory and 4 months of practical training under a lawyer. And once you have this certificate, you can move on to the step number 3. Coming to the step number 3, which is going to be your bar exam. So in Canada, the bar exam is broken down into 2 parts. The first is called barristers and the second is called solicitors. In barristers, the subjects that are covered is criminal law, civil law, family law and public law. And for solicitors, the subjects that are covered are real estate law, business law and estate laws. In my personal experience, I found solicitor material to be more verbose and also a bit dry to fathom. But anyway, both these exams are pretty nice. Once you have registered in the law society of your choice, the law society, after you pay them the fees being $500 for each exam, sends you a PDF version of the study material, which is refreshed every year, and in each year you can take 3 attempts on using the same study material. So after you have registered and you get started with the studies, best of luck with that, because it's going to be 1800 pages that you gotta read and understand. But don't be intimidated with that, because I really enjoyed the whole process, because the time when I started this journey and by the time I was over reading all these 1800 pages, my reading speed had improved, my comprehension had improved, and I had learned something so valuable that I've never learned in my law school, which was how to see this body of law in motion. How does the court operate and what is expected of you. They don't expect you to memorize everything, because again, this exam is also going to be an open book exam, in which you can you're just required to find the questions as soon as possible. Unlike the NCA exams, which are all theoretical, this exam is going to be a Scranton sheet based exam, which is picking up the options A, B, C, D. So as I speak, each exam is around 4.5 hours and has 160 questions each for the barrister as well as solicitors. So you get roughly around 1.75 minutes for attempting every answer, which I found was enough time for anyone who has actually read this material and who understands how to find the answers in the study material. Because again, this exam is not going to test how good a lawyer you are. The law society clearly says that it's going to assess the minimum requirements for a barrister or solicitor. So don't worry about that. All you need to know is that you must read the study materials very well. After reading that, you must try to memorize the detailed table of contents. The detailed table of contents are supplied to you with your study material. And why I asked you to memorize your detailed table of content, because it's going to help you locate the right answers and locate which chapter the answer would be situated. Because in the law exam, you have limited time, and as soon as you read the question, you are expected to find the correct answer of the question within the materials. And if you already know the detailed table of contents, it's easier for you to categorize and figure out where did you last read the same thing. Another thing that people rely on for clearing the bar exams is indexes. Indexes is basically an alphabetical keyword sheet, which also lists the paragraph and the page number that specific keyword is located in the study material. Before I took these exams, I thought I really love the idea of indexes and I heavily wanted to rely on that. But at the time of taking the exams, I realized I was going back to the detailed table of contents more than I was going to the indexes, because it actually saves time to go to the DTOC and find these answers. For the indexes, you might have to either buy them from the market, or you can actually email at this email address to the University of Toronto. Their student union comes out with the revised indexes every year, and I highly recommend you to donate some money for the students. Otherwise this is going to be completely free. And the way you should bind your study material for these exams is, first it should be a cover page, then it should come your detailed table of content for the specific subject. For example, family law. So the first thing will be the cover page of family law. The second thing will be the detailed table contents for family law, then the indexes for family law, then the study material, and then the back page for that bundle. So in effect, you might have these many 5 books for barrister and 4 books for solicitors. Why 5 and why 4? Why not 4 and 3? Because there's a common subject that you have to really emphasize on, which is professional responsibility. And this is something that I really enjoyed learning here, because when I went to law school, I was told that in order to become a good lawyer, first you have to be a good human being. And this was reiterated in the professional responsibilities. Professional responsibility is something that is so important that 40% of this exam is going to be having questions of professional responsibility, and these questions will not be separated in any sections in the question paper. They will be coming out in maybe in the section of family law or in the civil law, and you will be expected to perform well on them, because this is something that makes you a lawyer in Canada, your ethics. So professional responsibility is something that every lawyer should really learn, and this is one common subject between barrister and solicitor, which is why I did not list it as a separate subject in itself. So if you studied for professional responsibility of barrister, it's going to be the same for solicitors. Once you've taken your bar exams, the next step that follows is going to be your wait for your results. And once your results are out, you will be called to the bar. There are 2 types of calls. One is an administrative call to bar, and the other is a ceremonial call to bar. Each has their specific fees to it. So the administrative call to bar is the ceremony, is the certification after which you are actually allowed to become a lawyer and call yourself a lawyer and practice law in Canada. For the first step, which was the NC assessment, since NC all these exams and the assessment can be done online, you don't really have to come to Canada for this, so you would not require any visa. It's on you if you want to come and take these exams in person. It's going to cost you a bit of money for coming here, getting the visa, and the visa is also a risk. If it may also get rejected. The second step, which is the articling. If you're doing an articling program such as the LLP program, you will require a study visa. If you are not doing that and you are actually going for an articling, then you might require a work permit, which is something again which is hard to get. That's why people come over here on a diploma and then they get a work permit on that, and at that time they finish their articling. It's on you. If you want some suggestions further on that, you can try to contact me in the description box below. The third step, which is the bar exam, again, for example, if you are a person who did the assessment online, cleared all these exams online, you did not have to come here. If you have had experience back home and could get your exemption for articling, again, you don't have to come to Canada. For the bar exams only, you can come here on a visitor visa, and I'm sure that IRCC is not going to reject your file just because you want to come take these exams on a visitor visa, because then by that time you might have a lot of document to substantiate your file. So if that's the case, you will only require to come take these exams, and rest all the process can be done from your home country. I hope this video was helpful, and if there are any questions or anything that I was unable to cover, please feel free to comment and like this video, share it with your friends. And I really hope that all you foreign trained lawyers do come and become a lawyer here. Don't go to become a paralegal or something less than your own capacity. I know it takes time, it takes a lot of courage to be doing all these things and trying to do it on your own, on a self-study. But I think it is doable. If I can do it, you can do it too. And with these words, I'm gonna end this video. Ciao.